So let's get into it today. Adding and subtracting fractions. We talked about before that the very first thing when adding and subtracting fractions is you need that common denominator, which is also known as our least common multiple. So one of the things that we see with fractions is that adding and subtracting fractions is that it's a multi-step process. So by kind of buying into the steps and buying into the visuals, it's going to help you get you through it. So the first thing I highly suggest is to stack them. So in question number 1 here, let's take that 2/3 and let's add it with the 1/6. So we're going to stack our fractions on top of each other. So as we talk about, step 1 is that common denominator. So I'm focusing in on that 6, I'm focusing on that 3, and I'm thinking least common multiple. So the one technique we talked about is listing them all out. The other thing we mentioned briefly is checking to see if that smaller number, the 3, will fit into the 6. And sure enough, it does. So when I list out my multiples, 3, 6, and then I start with the multiples of 6, 6, we say that's 6 right away. So that's one of the things that you can really do to speed things up. Check and see if it'll work, and sure enough, it does. Now, what we need to do is to create an equivalent fraction, so the same fraction, is now we got to figure out who to multiply by. So who do you multiply the 3 by to get to the 6? Well, it's a 2. Well, since you multiply by a 2, you also have to multiply that top number by a 2 as well. So 2 times 2, there's your 4. 4/6 is the same as 2/3. It's just with a different denominator, but they are what we call equivalent. And then check this out, the 6. Well, what do you multiply the 6 by to get to a 6? Well, that's just a 1. So we also have to multiply by a 1 up here, and hey, what happens when you multiply by a 1? Nothing. All right, 1 times 1 is still 1. Now we can add 4/6 plus 1/6 gives us our answer of 5/6. So again, common denominator, we have to get that new numerator, which is that new top number. And then finally we can do our addition that's there. Let's try the next one here. 3/4 plus 1/8. Again, same technique we're watching for is, can that smaller denominator fit into the larger one? And it does. So hit the pause button here. See if you can get there all the way, and then play as you get stuck. So since we said we're choosing the 8, let's see. Did you multiply by a 2? So we're going to multiply by a 2 up here. 3 times 2 is 6. What do you multiply the 8 by to get to 8? Well, that's a 1. So 1 times 1, hello 1. Add them on up. Hey, we get 7/8. All right? So that's a nice little start. So let's get into some other ones now that'll make us work a little bit more from a standpoint of that denominator bracket. So let's try someone like 2/5. And we're just going to stack them right away here. So we're not even going to kind of wait for that moment in time that's there. 2/5. All right. Actually, 2/15s, my apologies. 2/15s, and let's add on to it someone like, oh, no, we're not going to do that to you. Hold on. Sorry, we're not erasing here. All right. Hold on. Apparently my eraser has failed me here, so a little scribble action there. So we're going to do 2/5 plus 2/7. So again, let's see if you can get you there, all right, and then pause the video as necessary. But step number 1 is to get that common denominator. And again, we can write things out if you need to. 5, 10, 15, 20, 7, 14, 21. But one of the things that I tell students is when you start to be like, I can't find something, it's okay to multiply them together. 5 times 7, 35. Now, the idea here is there's not always just one technique. We talked about the smaller number fitting to the larger number. I talked about me listing out a few of them and not being able to come with them. Then just multiply them together. If you don't get the least common one, it's okay. We'll have to do some what we call some simplifying at the end, but it is something we really want to try. But yeah, 35 is it here. So, what are you multiplying by? Well, in this case, we're multiplying by a 7. So let's do that up here. Hello, 14. Come on down here. What do you multiply the 7 by to get to the 35? Well, that's a 5. So let's multiply by a 5 up here. 2 times 5 is a 10. Now we're ready to add 14 plus 10. There's a 24. Keep my denominator, 24/35. All right, here we go. Let's try another one that's here. How about looking at 3/8 plus, and let's go 5/6. I'll give you a moment to get you going on it. Okay, common denominator here. This is not one where I just want to multiply the 6 times 8 together. Because if I go through them, 8 times 1, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 8 times 3, ding, 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 24. Yeah, and again, this is a lot of your math facts. This is realizing that as you list through them, oh wait, 24 works. I can get 6 into 24. That works. So if you need to list them off to the side, list them. It's about finding what works for you. You need a multiplication chart just to scan down them. Hey, go ahead and do that. All right, so we're looking to multiply. So let's multiply. Should get a 9 up here. Let's multiply. So let's multiply. Should get a 20 up there. Now we can add, and that is 29/24. Now this is what we call an improper fraction because the number is larger up in the numerator. So what we're looking to do here is to simplify. And one of the things is that fraction bar really means to divide. So we're trying to figure out how many groups of 24 can you take out of 29. Well, you can take one of them. How many pieces are left over? That would be 5. And you can still put them in groups of 24. I'm sorry, you're trying to put them in groups of 24. So yeah, 1 and 5, 24 is what we're after. So let's do one last one that's here. All right, that's my, tell you what, technology-wise, it's not working here too well. So in your very last question that we're going to use, here we go, or maybe not. We're going to end up using, I got you here. Or no, I don't. All right. Well, that was frustrating. Okay, so here we go. Last one. All right. 2 9s plus 5 6. So hit that pause button. See what you can do with it. Common denominator. Did you choose 18? All right. And again, I don't want to use that 9 times 6 of 54. Much larger number, lot more simplifying doing there. So again, I'm going through my multiplication facts. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Wait a second. 6. Yeah, that'll work with 18 because 6 times 3 is 18. So again, multiplication facts. If that's troubling, again, list them out. All right, so we are timesing by 2. So let's times by 2. 2 times 2 is a 4. We're timesing by 3. So we're timesing by 3. There's your 15. Let's add them on up. I get 19/18. All right, we got to clean this up a little bit here. So I can take one group out. There's one piece left over. And I was trying to put them in groups of 18. So 1 and 1/18 is our winning answer we're looking at. All right, people. Sorry about the technology, but that gets you through it.